We now move into week 2, awareness, self-awareness. I include this as a virtue because self-awareness is becoming aware of ourselves as spiritual beings. General awareness is just being aware of our environment and interacting with our environment. But as conscious human beings, self-awareness becomes a lot much more. Self-awareness then becomes alive in us when we reach what people refer to as consciousness. Now, consciousness, of course, the conscious, the self-conscious, the subconscious, those are terms we might be familiar with. But in the spiritual world, consciousness means being aware of ourselves as conscious beings, being aware of ourselves as social beings, as spiritual beings, with a whole set of resources that are available to us if we become aware of them. Awareness then is sort of reaching a point in our lives where we know that we are more than body and brain. We know that there is another dimension. We become aware of it as we grow older, as we reach the later ages. We have built into us what I would refer to as an internal guidance system. I believe we're born with it. Human beings, I believe it's part of our physical genetics that we have this space within us, this capacity within us to combine concepts together and to keep combining and combining and combining until we see the whole. We get to the point where we see the whole world, we see the whole meaning of life, and then we become conscious. It seems that at this moment of consciousness, we then get in contact with other people who are conscious. And we get in contact with consciousness itself. People refer to this as the universal presence, or the Tao. Some people refer to it as God. The self-awareness aspect is then our relationship to the universe, our relationship to each other, our relationship to the natural world that we live in and breathe in. We become aware that we're part of this and that it is a part of us. So self-awareness then takes on several dimensions. We are aware, first of all, as a person with a mind and a body interacting in the world around us. And then we are conscious of our interactions, our relationships with others, with children, with our wives, our friends, this whole aspect of love. We're aware that this is something different, something more than the animal kingdom has. And then we become aware of the universal presence. We become aware that we are part of something whole. It is part of us, and we are part of it. So, what does self-awareness mean when it comes to me? Well, first of all, I'm aware of my body. But I'm aware that my body is more than just my body. It's more than just my hands and my feet and my muscles. There's a part of me that I become aware of it is what we call the gut. Is this my sort of radar of what I'm doing? Is it dangerous? Is what I'm doing helpful? And when we get to a spiritual level, how do my actions intertwine with the actions of others? Am I somehow doing what is right, what is good? And it's from a gut level, from a human level. Am I giving enough? Am I doing enough? And even from a personal level, am I being enough? Am I taking good care of myself? We then move up to the second level, which I believe is the heart. Or maybe let's go past that to the mind, first of all. We become aware of our mind. And we become aware that our mind is, first of all, two parts. The one we spoke of several times, I think, already, which is this part behind our eyes here, right behind our eyebrows, actually, which is called the orbital frontal cortex. It's part of the prefrontal cortex. On the left side, we have our administrator, our administrator center. It's the decision-making processor. On the right side, we have our sense of self in space and time. So within our mind, we have our sense of self. This is probably different from animals. Some people think otherwise, but I think it's safe to say that this is a quality which is part of our human makeup, part of our genetics, this sense of self. The third part of us, I think, is the heart, then. And some people believe that the heart is just an organ that pumps blood, and they may be right. From a spiritual perspective, though, the belief is that the heart is also the center of spiritual energy. It's the fourth chakra out of the seven. It's the middle chakra. It is the energy center of our spiritual body, our spiritual self. And as such, it has an electromagnetic force that can spread out around us and connect with other people through energy. And of course, that energy that comes from the heart is love energy, the desire to connect with other human beings. No doubt you've felt that connection. Mother, daughter, mother, son, father, son. These connections, they're deep. They're more than I think the animal kingdom experience. The animal kingdom operates on an instinct to protect its young, but human beings operate on this desire to connect with their children, to connect mentally, emotionally, spiritually. So that leads us to the fourth area, which is the soul. The soul is really the people who believe there's part of us, that connects with God ever since we've been, ever since written form. We get into the historic period of mankind. Even before that, we see offerings to the gods. There's this idea that there's something out there, there's someone out there, that there's a spiritual world out there that is affecting our world. As we kind of have matured along that line, we've gone through different religious cycles, and the one that is quite prevalent now is this idea of the Tao, or the universal presence. And there's this idea that our soul can connect with the universal presence. And we look at the energy system, the chakras of the body, we get to the crown chakra, and that's where we believe is open to the actual energy that is coming from the universal presence. Our energy longing to reach out to the universal energy. Our heart energy wanting to reach out to our fellow man in that form of energy. Our bodies longing to link and bond with other people. All of these energy forces, we should become aware of them. We become aware of ourselves as beings, body, mind, heart, and soul.